Hi, everybody. It's Tuesday, May 12th. Whoa. Um, we are going to be doing a gentle yoga class today. I'm going to set up the computer in a second. But gentle meaning it's just going to be a nice, slow, mellow class. We're not going to do any crazy strength building work. It's just going to be more gentle movements, lots of deep breathing, and it's really, really good for somebody like who maybe is working with some injury, nursing any sort of injury or arthritis, anything like that. Somebody who just wants like a really mellow class to end their day with. So it's just going to be a super gentle flow. Standard vinyasa flow, but we won't do anything wild and crazy. So I ask that you get as many props as you can get. So a lot of pillows, a lot of blankets, perhaps a strap, but you might need it. I don't know. Maybe a strap, but definitely lots of pillows, lots of blankets. If you have yoga blocks, those are great as well. If you don't have yoga blocks, you can use like books or maybe a foam roller. So essentially just something like a little bit harder that you'll place your hands onto. If you don't have yoga blocks and you are a regular yoga practitioner, I highly recommend getting them. Yogaoutlet.com has them for super cheap, but they're just like game changer for your practice. So anyway, we're going to get started in a seated cross-legged position. So you're going to want props right away here. Set up. Okay, so you're going to get started in a seated cross-legged position. I'm grabbing 2 blocks to start, and I'm going to place them right underneath where my sit bones would be. And what this will allow me to do is sit in a comfortable seated position where my hips are either above or in the same line as the same plane as my knees. So rather than sitting in a cross-legged position and you're kind of like your knees are like up like this, find something that you can sit on so that your hips are resting above or over your knees. So again, my hips are above my knees here or in the same level. So we're just going to get started in a seated position, and we're going to start to close our eyes. Place your palms on top of your knees. See if you can sit up as straight as possible. And start to bring your awareness and all of your consciousness away from everything that you had going on earlier today. See if you can bring your focus away from those things that you had earlier today, that you have going on tomorrow, maybe this evening, and just bring all of your focus, all of your awareness to your mat, to your body and your breath. So when we start any sort of yoga class, I always like to start with a little bit of quiet time, a little bit of just intentional breathing and intentional sort of grounding and quiet, so that we can just let go of whatever we have going on and be able to bring all of our attention and our focus to this yoga practice. So the eyes should be closed. Start to take some deeper breaths through your nose. See if when you inhale, you can create some space in your belly by expanding the breath through the ribs or through the lungs. So we're breathing into the belly, we're breathing into the rib cage, breathing into the chest so that it expands forward and out. And then as you exhale, we're letting everything fall back into place, back to our center, back to our normal position, our normal upright seated position. But as you inhale, we want to find that length and we want to find space and extension through the spine. And see if you can make the length of your breath equal from the inhale to the exhale. Sometimes I think counting up to 5 helps with this. So counting to 5 as you inhale and then counting down from 5 as you exhale. And just take a few more breaths here, calming the mind, calming the body. And at the end of your next exhale, very slowly start to blink open the eyes. And take a big deep breath in through your nose. And then exhale out your mouth. Sigh it out. Let's do that one more time. Inhale through the nose, a big, big belly breath here. See if you can suck in a little bit more air at the top. And then exhale out the mouth. We're going to start to tip our head towards our right shoulder. Take your right arm and then reach around the top of your head and place your hand on the left side of your head so that your fingers are just grazing the top of your ear. So you're just gently guiding the head and the neck over towards the right side. Start to tip your head a little bit forward and then tip your head a little bit back. So you're just gently opening up the left side of the neck. We're not making circles necessarily. We're just opening up those muscles and releasing tension in the neck and in the trapezius and a little bit in the shoulder as well. If you'd like a little bit more from here, you can place your left fingertips on the mat. You should feel a nice little opening in the shoulder when you do this. And just continue to nod that head back and forth, taking deep breaths in and out the nose. And take one more big round of breath here. And then as you exhale, slowly release the right hand back down to the earth, and then tip your chin and your head up back towards center. Start to take the left palm, reach it over top of your head and around to the right side, and gently guide your head towards your left shoulder. You're not really pulling on your head, it's acting as more of a guide than anything. And then start to tip your head forward and back. Maybe you place the right fingertips on the mat. And you should feel this in the right side of the neck, in the trapezius on the right side, and a little bit into the shoulders, the collarbones. Just a gentle opening of the neck here. Finding those deep, long, slow breaths. Maybe you continue to count up to 5 and down from 5. If that helps you maintain the breath. Take one more deep inhale breath through your nose. And then as you exhale, gently release the left palm. Take your hands and place them back on top of your thighs. Start to shrug your shoulders all the way up into your ears, and then roll them down the back as you exhale. We're going to just make some circles sort of with the shoulders. So as we inhale, we're going to take the shoulders into the ears, and then exhale, roll them down your back. Inhale forward and up, and exhale, roll them down your back. Inhale, and exhale. Now reverse the direction of the circle. So you're going to go back and up, and then down and forward. Inhale, back and up. Exhale, down and forward. Inhale. And then out. Last time, inhale. And then exhale. So building off of that, we're going to start to come into some seated cat-cows. So cat-cow are two positions, and also switch, at this point you can switch the cross of the leg to make it a little bit more comfortable so that we don't stay, or that we're not off balance. So a cat-cow, normally we're in tabletop position, but in the seated version, we're just isolating the stretch to our back and to the neck. So in a cow pose, we start to arch our back and pull our chest through our shoulders and pinch our shoulder blades together, and then tip your chin up towards the ceiling. And your tailbone should be sort of sticking out. And then as you exhale, you're going to start to pull your navel in towards your spine, curl your shoulders forward, puff up your back, and then take your chin into your chest. So it's a little bit of a spine warm up. As we inhale, we're pulling our chest and shoulders forward. We're taking our chin up towards the ceiling, arching in the back. Shoulder blades are pulling together. And then as you exhale, you're rounding forward and curling in. Inhaling into cow pose. And then exhaling into cat. Do 2 more rounds of this with your breath. And exhaling into cat. Inhaling forward. And exhaling cat pose. Just come back to a seated position. We're going to come into some twists. So now that we've sort of warmed up the spine forward and back, so forward and backwards, we're going to start to twist it. So if you'd like, you can come to sit seated on your knees if you're sort of sick of sitting in this position. So I'm going to actually move to that, and I'm going to place a pillow or a block underneath my sit bone so it's a little bit easier on my knees. On my inhale breath, I'm going to reach my arms up overhead. So when we're in this position, we want to be nice and long and straight in the spine. And we want to pull our shoulder blades away from our shoulders away from our ears. You're going to start to turn your whole upper body to face the left side of your mat. Take your left arm behind you so that your fingers are resting right at your tailbone. Right arm reach as high as you can. And then we're going to slowly start to bring that right hand on the outside of your left thigh. So we're just guiding ourselves into a nice, easy seated twist. Taking deep breaths. Our neck is either facing our gaze is either facing the left side of the room, or if you'd like to go a little bit deeper, you can turn your head to face your left shoulder. And take nice, long, slow, deep breaths here. In through the nose. Exhale out the nose. In through the nose. And breath out. One more breath, inhale. And then very slowly as you exhale, you're just going to return to center. And then on your next inhale, you're going to slowly start to turn your whole, reach your arms up towards the ceiling first. And then you're going to start to turn your whole torso to face the right side of your mat. Take your right arm and place your fingertips right on the floor or on your feet at your tailbone. And then reach the left arm up a little bit higher, sit up a little bit straighter, and then take your left palm on the outside of your right thigh. So opening up into a nice twist on the other side. Gaze is either towards the right or over your right shoulder behind you. And take deep breaths in through your nose and deep breaths out. Inhale, breath. Exhale, out. One more long, slow breath. Inhale. And then as you exhale, slowly returning to center. So we're going to come down onto our backs. So move whatever props that you have out of the way. We're going to come all the way down. And actually, see if you can grab a blanket or a strap here before you lay down. Yeah. So grab a strap or a blanket if you can. I'm going to grab this. So, and then we're going to come all the way down to our backs. Whoa, my whole back just cracked. Okay. We're going to draw our knees into our chest and wrap our arms around our shins. Just pull your knees in tight. Maybe start to draw some circles with the knees. And notice how that feels in the low back and in the sacrum. It should feel pretty nice, like a little bit of a massage. You may even feel the bones of the sacrum sort of shifting around a bit as you do this. Make sure you reverse the direction of the circles. And take a deep breath in through your nose. And then as you exhale, extend the left leg straight out in front of you and rest the leg flat onto your mat with the heel on the ground. Left foot is flexed. See if you can draw that right knee towards your chest. And then see if you can get it over towards your left or your right armpit. And then start to make some circles with that knee, the right knee. So we're just lubricating that right hip joint. It's making some nice gentle circles, stretching out the inner groin, the inner thigh, compressing in the hip flexor. And then just find some stillness. Pull that right knee in towards your right armpit even more. So as much as you can pull it in. And then I want you to extend through that left leg, through the heel of your left foot. See if you can shoot or really stamp that wall in front of you or whatever's in front of you with the left flex foot. So I want the left leg completely engaged. And you should feel a little bit of an opening in that left hip flexor when you do this. And maybe in the left quad as well. Take a deep breath in through your nose. Deep breath out. Inhale through the nose. Exhale, breath out. One more inhale. And then as you exhale, you're going to grab a strap or a blanket and you're going to hook a strap around your right foot. And you're going to extend that right leg overhead straight and have the strap around your foot. And then you could use a blanket here as well, sort of like rolling it up and then just hooking it around your foot if you don't have a strap. And really flex into that right foot. The more that you sort of peel your toes back towards your shin and flex the foot, the more you should feel a stretch in the upper part of your calf, like right under your knee crease. So this should feel pretty nice. Maybe a little bit intense, but we're just gently opening up that hamstring and the quad. So flex into that foot. Keep just a soft bend into the right knee. So you don't want to lock out the knee joint, just a nice soft bend here. And then you can pull that strap in towards you any amount. You can choke up on the grip to make it even shorter. It's totally up to you. So just play around with this, but we're just gently opening up the right hamstring and the right quad. And again, the more you flex your foot and peel your toes back towards your shin, the more stretch in the quad, the calf. Have I been saying the quad? Oh my gosh. Calf muscles. The more stretch in the calf muscles you'll get. I am so sorry. I think I've been saying fawn the whole time. So just take some long, deep breaths here. If you're feeling like this is like really uncomfortable, not painful, but uncomfortable, just come back to that breath. We're just going to take one more deep inhale breath here. And a big exhale out. Keep your right foot where it is. You're going to start to bend the left knee and place the left foot flat onto the mat. And then release the strap or the blanket out of the way. We're gonna come to this on the other side, so just keep it nearby. You're gonna start to bend into that right knee and cross the right ankle over the left knee. And start to press that right knee forward towards your feet, or your left foot towards the front of your mat. And then you wanna keep the left foot flexed. So we're in a supine figure 4 stretch right here. And a few options, you can stay here if this is, if you already feel a pretty deep stretch in that right side of your hip, the right side glute, gluteus medius, all of that. Stay here if you already feel that. If you want something a little bit more and you feel like you can get even a little bit deeper of a stretch safely, take the left foot off of the mat and then see if you can thread your arms through your legs, wrapping your, or clasping your hands around your left thigh. And then you can pull your knees and pull your legs in towards your chest. And this is only if you feel like you can comfortably get here and it's safe for you. Please keep your right foot as flexed the entire time during the stretch. So this is a nice outer hip gluteus medius stretch. We're taking nice long deep breaths here. In through the nose and out. One more breath in and breath out. Slowly start to release. Uncross that right leg. You're going to straighten that right leg out towards the front of the mat, resting the whole leg down on the mat, right foot flexed. Start to draw that left knee in towards your chest, pulling it in towards your chest with your hands. And then you're starting to make some circles with the knees, keeping the right foot, extended leg flexed and engaged. Just make some circles with that left knee. And reverse the direction. And then you're going to grab, actually, no, sorry, for just a few breaths, we're going to pull our left knee towards our left armpit and really, really straighten and engage that right extended leg. Extend through the heel of the right foot. Find as much engagement and strength as you can, like you're pulling your knee up towards your hip bones, pulling your kneecap up, engaging the quad, engaging the calf. Take a deep breath in through your nose, and a deep breath out. Okay, now we're going to grab the strap or the blanket. You're going to hook it around your left foot, and then extend that left leg straight up towards the ceiling. Left foot is flexed. Oh, my leg on this side is definitely tighter. So notice the difference between the two sides, right? So we're not usually ever in balance one side or the other. So, and then the more that you flex, once again, and flex your foot and peel your toes back towards your shins, the more you should feel this in the top of your calf. So right behind, or right underneath your, the crease of your knee. You'll feel a nice calf stretch here. Just take those nice deep breaths in through the nose and out through the nose. Inhaling and exhaling out. One more breath, inhale. And then as you exhale, bend the right knee, place the right foot flat on the mat. You're going to release that strap out of the way. I don't think that we're going to need it anymore. Start to bend into the left knee and cross the left ankle over your right knee. See if you can press that left knee forward. If this is enough, stay here. Or if you want a little bit more, you can start to lift that right foot off of the mat, thread your hands behind your right thigh and clasp them, and then just draw your legs towards your chest. Keep the left foot flexed. See if you can press your tailbone down into the mat. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. Deep breath in through your nose. And exhale out. One more breath, inhale. And then exhale, gently start to release the grip of your hands. Uncross your legs. You're going to straighten both legs out in front of you. Reach your arms up overhead. And just stretch your arms and legs in opposite directions. Point the toes. Create as much length as you can. You're kind of like, it's like a nice little good morning stretch here. Take a deep breath in. And a deep breath out. We're slowly going to start to roll onto our stomachs. So you're just going to roll over. And you may be facing backwards if you want to turn around at all. But we're on our bellies now. Press up into a tabletop position, so you're on hands and knees. And then you're going to take your knees out wide, almost as wide as your mat, and take your toes to touch. You may need a blanket nearby and a pillow before you go down into child's pose. If child's pose is tough on your knees, you can place a blanket right at the creases of your knees, so resting on top of your calves. You're going to sit your hips back onto your heels. Walk your hands out towards the front of your mat, so far out that you can sink your chest down towards the mat, and then rest your forehead on the mat. If you cannot reach your forehead or your chest, place a pillow underneath your head. If this is tough on your knees in any way, that's when you put a blanket underneath, like on top of your feet and on top of your calves. So we're resting our forearms, our elbows, our hands on the mat. We're resting our forehead on the mat. And arms are long and straight out in front of you. We're allowing the back of the body to open up here. We're creating length in the spine, extension, decompression, all that good stuff. Take 3 deep breaths here through your nose. Seeing if with each inhale breath you can find more space and extension in the back side of your rib cage, so through the back of the body. Last breath here. And then as you exhale, you're going to come back into tabletop position. So stacking your shoulders over your wrists and hips over the knees. So we're in a tabletop pose. Start to walk your hands towards the front of your mat further so that you have sort of an angle on your arms, but then your hips are still right over your knees. Tuck your toes underneath you. Start to lift your knees off of the mat and straighten the legs and your mouth. And what this will do is your hips will start to reach up towards the ceiling. Start to press into the hands to press your chest back through your arms towards your shins. So this is downward facing dog. And your hands want to be about shoulder width distance apart. Fingers spread wide. Ears should be tracking and in the direction of your biceps. So they should be in line with your biceps. If you can't get there, you may need to shorten your stance or lengthen the stance a little bit. So heels are reaching down towards the mat. They do not have to touch. Maybe you start to pedal out the feet if your calves and your hamstrings are feeling particularly tight. But we really want to press into the palms to lift our hips even higher. See if you can roll your biceps up towards the ceiling and spin your triceps down towards the mat. So you're rotating your arms in that direction as you're in downward dog. So if you've pedaled out the feet, see if you can find a little bit of stillness. Your gaze should be back at your toes. Belly should be pulling in towards the spine. And see if you can pull your ribs together. So not letting your ribs sort of splay out and stick out, but just pulling them in towards the midline of your body. Take another deep breath here. And on your next exhale, you're going to start to walk your feet forward to the front of your mat. And then we're in a forward fold. So in a forward fold, bend into the knees so that you can rest your ribs on top of your thighs. Grab opposite elbows and just let your upper body hang super heavy. See if you can get your weight into your toes and into the balls of your feet. And just let your shoulders drop down, let your neck drop back down. Take some deep breaths here in this forward fold. So for many of us, our hamstrings are not very open, so this forward fold may look like this. I just want you to be resting the thighs, or resting your chest on top of your thighs. One more deep breath in. And a deep breath out. We're going to start to come up and rise halfway. So by halfway, I mean we're just coming to a point where we can have a straight, flat back and our palms are resting on top of our shins or our quads. So just find a place where you can find that long, flat back on that halfway lift. And take a deep breath in through your nose. Weight should still be in the toes. And then as you exhale, you're going to place your fingertips onto the mat and step back into a low lunge. Step your right foot back to a low lunge. So you may need a blanket here to place it under your knee. We're going to drop our right knee down, untuck your back toe, and then just come to sit upright into this low lunge. As you inhale, you're going to sweep your arms up overhead. And already here, I want you to think about pulling your shoulders away from your ears. Your palms should be facing one another. Take a deep breath in. Deep breath out. And in this low lunge, I also want you to think about creating 90-degree angles with your legs. So rather than being in a lunge like this, where our knee is forward, past our ankle, and our back leg is, or our hip is past our knee, and we're tilting the pelvis forward, think about coming into those 90-degree angles. And then rather than tilting the pelvis forward, see if you can get your pelvis completely straight. So for example, here's my pelvis tilted forward. Here's my pelvis straight. So you can see this like one straight line from my knee up to my shoulder versus this tilted pelvis, right? So see if you can pull your front hip bones up towards the ceiling and take your tailbone down towards your right knee. You should feel a nice opening in the right quad, the right hip flexor when you do this. Then we're going to take our arms, so our arms are overhead. We're going to take our arms and create like a goalpost-like position, or cactus arms, however you want to call them. And when you do this, see if you can take your elbows back behind you and pinch your shoulder blades together. So we really want to open up the chest and the shoulders and the collarbones in this cactus or goalpost position. So we're just opening up the chest and the shoulders. See if you can really pull those shoulder blades together here. And there is a tendency to let the ribs sort of flare out when you do this. See if you can draw those ribs together. So that's where the challenge is here. So take a deep breath in through your nose. And then as you exhale, you're just going to release those arms forward. Frame your front foot with your hands, the left foot. And then you may need a prop here. We're going to place that prop if you have it, if you'd like. If you can't reach the floor, place your right palm onto the prop on the inside of your left foot. So block is on the inside of the left foot, hand is on the prop. You're going to start to twist your shoulders and your collarbones, spin them open towards your left knee, towards the left side of the room. And then you're going to start to reach that left arm up towards the ceiling. So we're coming into this little twist position here. And then you're going to start to make circles with that arm. So reaching the arm forward as you inhale, and then reaching it back as you exhale. Forward as you inhale, back as you exhale. Then reverse the direction of the circles. Inhale as you reach back. Exhale as you reach forward. Inhale, reach back. Exhale, reach forward. And then we're just going to place, that left palm down on the mat. You may need another prop here as well. So I'm going to have 2 blocks to where my palms are. I'm going to start to straighten the left leg. So I want you to start straightening that left leg. We're coming into a half split. So, what I want you to do is start to wiggle that that left heel forward so that you can maintain the 90-degree angle with your right leg. And you can maintain a straight spine. So rather than sort of like crunching over like this, come onto that 90-degree angle in the right foot or the right leg, wiggle that heel forward, and look at this shape. So I have a straight leg here, I have a straight spine and straight torso, and then a 90-degree angle on my right leg. So I want you to emulate that as best as you can. And you can do that by having props underneath you and just adjusting the direction or adjusting that front leg. So this should be a nice little hamstring opener once again. Take a deep breath in through your nose and a deep breath out. Deep breath in, deep breath out. One more time, inhale. And then as you exhale, bend into that left leg once again. You're going to tuck your right toes underneath you, lift your back knee, and then just step your right foot up to meet your left, fold forward. And you can grab opposite arms again, opposite elbows, or you can rest your fingertips on the mat or onto your legs, wherever you need to go. Take an inhale breath here and an exhale out. As you inhale, you're going to start to rise into that halfway lift again. So weight comes into the toes. We're just coming up halfway. Palms are on the shins, long, flat spine. Take an inhale breath. And then as you exhale, you're going to start to place your palms onto the mat and then step your left foot back for a low lunge. Drop the left knee down onto that blanket, untuck your back toes. And then we're just going to come up into that low lunge upright. Make those 90-degree angles with your legs. The left hip is right over the left knee. Right knee is right over the right ankle. As you inhale, you're going to sweep your arms up overhead. Take an inhale breath here. And then as you exhale, you're going to pull your arms open into that goalpost or that cactus position. So pull your shoulder blades together, pull your navel in towards your spine. Take your tailbone down towards your left knee. And take your frontal hip bones up towards your shoulders. Maybe you look up. Maybe you see if you can lift your sternum up towards the ceiling as you do this. Take a deep breath in through your nose and a deep breath out. One more breath in. And then as you exhale, you're going to frame your front foot with your hands. And then this is where you may need a prop placed on the inside edge of your right foot. Left palm is resting on top of that prop. You're going to start to reach that right arm up towards the ceiling as you spin your shoulders and your collarbones open to face that right knee, to face that right leg. So we're opening up to face the right side of the room. And then we're going to start to make those arm circles. So as you inhale, sweep your arm forward. And then as you exhale, take it backwards. Inhale, bring it forward. Exhale, take it back. Inhale, sweep it forward. Exhale, take it back, and reverse the direction. So inhale back, exhale forward. Inhale back, exhale forward. One more time, inhale back, and then exhale forward. Place that right palm down to frame your right foot. And here's where you may need another prop to place under your right palm. We're going to start to straighten that right leg and come into a half split. So you may need to wiggle that heel forward. Bump, 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 bump. so that your left hip is still over your right knee. So we're making a 90-degree angle, and then my hands should be lifted on props so that we can keep our back nice and straight. See if you can pull your right hip backwards. See if you can take your toes back towards your shins, and your chest is moving forward. Like somebody has a string attached to your sternum, and they're pulling you forward. And then take your shoulder blades down your back, pull your navel in towards your spine. And then see if you can sort of like energetically drag that right heel backwards. Like we're dragging our right hip back and our right heel back. And you should feel a nice deep stretch in that calf and in the hamstring when you do this. So deep breath in through your nose. And deep breath out. One more breath in. And then as you exhale, you're going to start to bend into that right knee. And then you're just going to take your right knee next to the left. So we're coming back onto our knees and we're going to make our way back to tabletop position. I would maybe, let's see, where are we going in here? You can remove the blanket from underneath your knees if, actually no, keep it where it is. You can keep that blanket there, just so it's a little bit more comfortable, right? So we're in tabletop position. Oh, I see where we're going. So yeah, okay, so remove the blanket out of the way. Sorry about that. And we're gonna come all the way down to our bellies. So we're resting on our belly. Take your forearms out in front of you and make the number 11 with your forearms. So the other thing that I want you to do is take your elbows right under your shoulders. So your shoulder is right in line with your elbow, and then wrists are sort of in the same line as your elbows, as your elbows as well. So you're in this number 11. The tops of your feet are pressing onto the mat, and the pinky toe side edge is sort of rolling down so that your inner thighs are spinning up. And then think about pressing your pubic bone into the mat so that you take your tailbone down towards your heels. And then you're going to start to pull your hands, like energetically pull your hands and your fingers and your forearms back towards your rib cage so that you're almost like pulling your chest forward. Then think about taking your shoulders and your shoulder blades together, your shoulder blades down away from your ears, and then the shoulder blades together so that your neck is nice and long. And then chin should be slightly tucked so that we're not looking up here. We just have the natural curve of our neck here. So chin should be right in line, parallel with the floor. And this is Sphinx pose. Nice little gentle back bend. Taking deep breaths in, deep breaths out. Deep breath in, deep breath out. One more breath in. And then as you exhale, you're going to take your arms out wide like a T and then rest your forehead onto the mat. So arms are out wide. And then what we're going to do, I'm spinning to face you, but we're still all the way on our bellies. Our arms are out wide like a T. You're going to take your right palm and place it right underneath your right shoulder. So next to your right side of your chest. You're going to start to press into that palm to roll onto your left side for a shoulder. So this should be opening up the shoulder and into the pectoral. So we're on our left side. Our palm is sort of pressing in to keep rolling us down and then rolling us onto our side. Left ear should be resting on the floor or on your mat. If this is enough to just be on the side, stay here. If you want to take it a little deeper, you can bend the right knee and place the sole of your right foot onto the mat behind your left knee. So the knee is facing up. If you want a little bit more, you can take that cactus variation of the arms, that goalpost variation of the arms with the left arm. So you're bending into that elbow. That's a way, way deeper stretch. So if you feel like you can do it, go for it. If it's totally out of your grasp, don't even try. Taking deep, slow breaths in through your nose and out. One more deep breath in. And then as you exhale, you're going to slowly roll back onto your belly, all the way down. Take your right arm out wide. Bend the left hand and place left elbow and place your left hand next to the left side of your chest, almost like right above your rib cage. You're going to press into that left hand to roll yourself onto your right side. Rest the right ear onto the mat. And then option here to stay right on the right, just on the right side, or you can bend the left knee and place the sole of your left foot behind your right knee so that your knee is pointing up towards the ceiling. And then also another option to bend the right elbow so that your right arm is in that goalpost or cactus position for a little bit of a deeper shoulder and pectoral opening. Taking deep, slow breaths here. One more breath in. And as you exhale, slowly unraveling, rolling back towards the floor onto your belly. Then you're going to take your arms next to your rib cage. You're just going to press yourself up on hands and knees. Then take your knees out wide, toes to touch. We're going to come back into child's pose. So sliding the arms forward, resting the chest in between the thighs. The forehead comes to the floor or to a pillow. And just let this be a passive child's pose. So just relax into this as best you can. Let the spine gently open up and extend, decompress. Really exaggerate your breaths here. So see how long you can drag out the breath. See how long you can sort of pause at the top or at the bottom before you make that next breath. Take a few more breaths here. And on your next inhale, start to press back up onto hands and knees. And then we're going to come into that seated position on tops of our shins here. So you can take pillow in between your feet to rest, to sit your tailbone and your sit bones onto that prop, onto that pillow. Let's see what time it is. Yeah, we got some time. So we're just going to take a few minutes to practice some different types of pranayama or different types of breathing. This one that I really like is called alternate nostril breathing. So we'll go through about a minute or two of that. And the alternate nostril breathing is a type of breath that really, really calms the nervous system and like takes you back from fight or flight mode into full relaxation mode. So this is something that you can take off of your mat and practice at any time when you're feeling super stressed or you're feeling like really anxious about something, like you're like in fight or flight mode. So what you're going to do is you're going to take your, at all times, your ring finger and your thumb are going to be on either nostril. So you can either choose your right hand or your left hand. I'm right-handed, so I'm choosing my right hand. My right thumb is going to go on top of my right nostril, and my ring finger is going to go on top of my left nostril. I'm going to take my peace fingers, my middle finger and my pointer finger, and I'm going to place it right in between my eyebrows. Eyebrows, yeah. So, and then my pinky is just going to rest on my left cheek. So in alternate nostril breathing, we're basically closing off one nostril at a time as we inhale and exhale. So we'll get started. Take a deep breath in through your nose before we start doing anything. And then a deep breath out your mouth. Go ahead and close off the left nostril and take a deep breath in through the right. Hold at the top for a moment. And then open up that left nostril, close the right with your thumb, and then exhale out the left nostril. Inhale through the left. Hold for a moment. Close off the left side, open up the right, and then exhale out the right nostril. Inhale through the right. Hold for a moment. Close off the right, open up the left, and exhale out the left side. Inhale through the left. Hold for a moment. Close off the left, open up the right, and exhale out the right. So just keep going through this. We're going to do this for another minute or so. And just kind of go at your own pace. But now that you have an understanding of how that flow works, it's an inhale. It's an inhale through one, closing it off, exhale, inhale through the same, closing it off, exhale, inhale, etc. Just move through this for another minute or so. Another round. After your next exhale, just release that hand down back towards your thigh and just return to your natural breath. Gently open your eyes. And that should have zened you out right there. Should feel really nice. We're going to make our way down to our back to set up for our final resting pose. Just moving through 2 more postures, and then we'll get to our last Shavasana. So have a blanket nearby, have some pillows nearby. You're going to come all the way down to your back, drawing your knees into your chest. Take your knees towards your armpit, so out wide, and then you're going to reach down with your hands to grab the outer edges of your feet. Start to pull your heels up towards the ceiling over top of your knees, and then take your knees out wider towards your armpits. And then what I just did, rather than having my elbows on the outside of my knees, I tuck them in to the inside of my knees. So heels are right over the knees here. You can also grab your big toe with your peace fingers. That's an option as well. And then see if you can work your tailbone down towards the mat. So this is happy baby pose. It's a nice little inner thigh stretch, inner hip stretch. And then just start to rock side to side. Take a deep breath in through your nose. Deep breath out. Deep breath in. And deep breath out. Start to gently release the grip of the feet. And then just take your knees together. Hold them into your chest for a moment. And then just let your arms open up wide like a T. Start to drop your knees over towards the left. So we're coming into a nice final twisting pose here. If you're finding that when your knees are dropped over towards the left, your right shoulder is lifted off of the mat, place a pillow underneath your knees. If your neck allows it, you can always try to turn your gaze towards your right shoulder and your right fingertips. Otherwise, just keep your gaze up towards the ceiling. Take those nice, long, slow, deep breaths here. One more deep breath in through your nose. And then as you exhale, drawing your knees back in towards center. Take a deep breath in with them in center. And then as you exhale, dropping the knees towards the right. You may need to place a pillow underneath your knees if you're finding that your left shoulder is lifting off of the mat. So we want both shoulders on the mat with our knees to the right. And then if your neck allows it, turning your gaze to face your right fingertips. Your left fingertips. And take those deep breaths here. One more deep breath in. And then as you exhale, drawing your knees back into center, pulling them in towards your chest, wrapping your arms around your knees and pulling yourself into a tight little ball, taking your forehead towards your knees. Take a deep breath in. And then as you exhale, you're going to open up into your final resting pose, Shavasana. So letting your legs go straight out in front of you. Your arms are opening wide next to you, palms facing up. Lift your shoulder blades off of the mat and pull them together underneath you. And then lift your tailbone off of the mat and pull it down towards your heels. Let the outer edges of your feet flop down towards the floor. Take a slight tuck to the chin so that your neck has a natural curve and is nice and long. And then start to scan your body from head to toe. Notice if there's any areas that you're gripping, that you're still squeezing or holding tension in. See if you can unclench, see if you can release, see if you can relax. The eyes are gently closed. Eyeballs are sinking back down into their sockets. Lips are slightly parted. The jaw is slack. Tongue is removed from the roof of your mouth and settling in the back of your throat. Remove the crease from your brow or your forehead. Just enjoy this final relaxation, resting pose. Preparing yourself for the evening, for sleep, or whatever it is you have rest of today. Maybe your mind is a little bit calmer, a little bit clearer. Body's a little bit more relaxed and open. just enjoying this last pose. And I encourage you to stay here for at least 5 minutes or so. I'm just gonna mute the video and but keep the camera rolling. So just stay here for as long as you'd like. But thank you so much for joining me today. I'll see you guys later.